I appreciate everybody who is giving me topics to discuss because I do want this to be customized to your needs. So this one is, how did I go from being codependent to hyper independent? I want to be interdependent, and how do I start to trust people again? So this is going to be a really good video for you guys, full of a lot of information. So these are the factors that contribute to the development of codependency. Your childhood experiences, every experience will play a crucial role in shaping our patterns of relating to others. So if you grew up in a family environment where your emotional needs were not met consistently, or you were exposed to neglect, addiction, abuse, it could contribute to codependent tendencies. People will let their traumas come out over time, whether it's a narcissist or whatever has shaped our personality. Enmeshment. So codependency often develops in families with enmeshed relationships where boundaries between individuals, they're either blurred or non-existent. This can lead to a lack of autonomy and a strong reliance on others for validation and a sense of self-worth. The caregiver role. If you were assigned the role of a caretaker or peacemaker in your family, sometimes sibling dynamics make a difference too. Or are you taking care of your parent that they're not taking care of themselves? You might have learned to prioritize the needs of others over your own. This can create a pattern of seeking external validation and neglecting your own emotional well-being. Low self-esteem. Codependency is often linked to low self-esteem and a lack of self-worth. And this can stem from experiencing criticism, rejection, or invalidation in your early life. Sometimes it even happens at school. Seeking approvals from others becomes a way to compensate for those negative beliefs about yourself. Traumatic experiences, traumas such as physical or emotional abuse can lead to codependency as a survival strategy. So by focusing on meeting the needs of others, codependents may attempt to control their environment and avoid further harm. Cultural and societal factors, the norms of where you grow up can influence the development of codependency. People are blowing my phone up and it's too much. So by focusing on the needs of others, codependents are controlling themselves, but the society, there's certain cultures that may emphasize self-sacrifice, putting the needs, I'm about to turn that off. But then I can't, you guys know my mom's sick. Putting the needs of others before oneself, which can contribute to codependent behaviors. So why am I now hyper independent after being codependent? It's not uncommon for this to happen. And this is something I struggle with, and we'll talk about that some more. It's part of the healing process. This shift happens because of several different reasons. Overcompensation. A lot of times we try to rebalance by overcompensating. Just like when you're driving, when you overcompensate, it leads to disaster a lot of times. When you have the right balance and the right control, it helps. After recognizing and experiencing the negative effects of codependency, some people can swing to the other extreme to protect themselves. They may feel a strong urge to prove that they're independent and also their autonomy, fearing a return to the previous patterns of that enmeshment and codependency. So in the healing and self-discovery, individuals who engage in therapy or self-work to address their codependency, they often go down a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. But this process can lead to a newfound sense of empowerment and self-awareness, which may manifest as a desire for independence and a focus on self-care. So the focus is shifted. So hyper independence can also be a response to past boundary violations and a way to establish healthy boundaries. It can be a defense mechanism to avoid being vulnerable or even reliant on others, as we may have experienced significant pain or trauma in those codependent relationships. You can also fear repeating past patterns. So people who have experienced this, the negative consequences of codependency, they may have this fear entering into the similar dynamics, and this fear can motivate them to become hyper independent as a means of avoiding potential codependent relationships in the future. And I need to do a video after this. I don't want to make it too long on male and female, masculine and feminine energy, how that affects this. And it can be regardless of where you fit in picking your partner. So reclaiming personal identity. Codependency often involves a loss of self-identity as the focus is primarily on meeting the needs of others. This hyper-independence can be a way for individuals to reclaim their sense of self, explore their own desires and interests, and establish that strong sense of autonomy. So how do I become more interdependent, where it's a little bit healthier? So by becoming more interdependent, it's a healthy goal. And this is striking a balance between independence and healthy reliance on others. We do need each other. Here are some steps that can help cultivate this interdependence. Start by developing a deep understanding for yourself, your needs, your boundaries. Reflect on your strengths, values, and areas where you might need some support. This self-awareness will help you communicate your needs effectively and establish healthy boundaries. And I'm going to turn down my phone. I have that trauma from when my daughter had to put her dog down and my phone was on vibrate and I didn't hear it. So allow yourself to receive help without feeling guilty or inadequate. Communicate openly. Practice clear and assertive communication to express your thoughts, feelings, and needs. Learn to ask for help when you need it and be open to receiving support from others. This is a big thing when you're too independent. We're not built. I turned it down. The notifications come. Sorry, guys. My mom, I don't know. She's not doing the best all the time. She's doing okay today, but things change. So seeking support. It is okay to ask for help, but when we don't ask for help, for one thing, it makes our life more difficult. And the other thing is we're missing out on building connections. It feels good to help people, and it takes pressure off of us. So it's a interdependent relationship. Communicate openly. Practice. Sometimes we have to practice or get it in our head. Practice clear and assertive communication to express these thoughts, feelings, and needs. And we have to learn how to ask for help when we need it and be open to receiving that support. Effective communication fosters understanding, collaboration, and development of healthy interdependent relationships. Embrace the idea that relationships are a two-way street. Practice collaboration and compromise when you interact with other people. Value their opinions. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but value it and appreciate that they're trying to help. So their needs, value that as well. These also their boundaries, and find mutually beneficial solutions. This will foster a sense of equality, cooperation, promoting interdependence, and less hurt feelings. So when we establish and maintain healthy boundaries, this is crucial in these interdependent relationships. We each have our own wants and needs, and how do we handle that? So we have to learn to identify our limits, communicate them clearly with others, respect the boundaries of others as well. These boundaries create a framework for balanced give and take, ensuring that both parties' needs are met. And when we focus on developing skills to support interdependence, such as active listening, empathy, conflict resolution, these skills enhance your ability to engage healthy, balanced relationships and also continue with that connection and interdependence. Self-care, when we prioritize our own self-care and self-nurturing activities, this helps maintain our well-being. Taking care of yourself emotionally, physically, and mentally will equip you to have a place of strength and resilience. It does take time. But why is self-reflection important? For self-awareness, personal growth, improved decision-making, enhancing self-compassion, improving relationships, identifying strengths and areas of growth, also mindfulness and self-regulation. When we engage, this is important, in self-reflection, it encourages mindfulness and self-regulation. By observing your thoughts, feelings, and reactions in a non-judgmental way, you can start to develop emotional intelligence and self-control. Sometimes we didn't learn or we're not quite as strong as we need to be with the emotional intelligence. and it just helps us respond. So how do I get rid of the trust issues? Recognize and validate these trust issues. Start by accepting that you do have these issues. Understand that it's normal. It's a response if you've been hurt or betrayed in the past. Validating your feelings allows you to begin the healing process and work towards resolving these trust issues. Reflect on your past experiences. Try to identify the specific events or relationships that have contributed to these trust issues. And by understanding the root cause can help you make sense of our reactions and also our emotions. Consider seeking therapy. I also do one-on-ones if that would help you. And trust issues often arise from negative beliefs or assumptions about others and relationships. So we need to examine these beliefs and question the validity of them. Are they based on past experiences that may not be representative of all people and all situations? We got to challenge and reframe the negative thoughts to develop a more balanced and realistic perspective. It takes small steps. Start by taking these in little pieces at a time. Begin with low risk situations. Gradually increase your level of vulnerability as you develop more confidence. And sometimes it involves sharing personal information, delegating tasks, relying on others for support. But establish your clear boundaries. That is essential in building trust. Clearly, we got to be clear on what our needs are. A lot of times it's better if you start at the beginning of a relationship as opposed to, oh yeah, let me add this on, where you're clear with people, and that'll weed out the people who shouldn't be in your life. This allows you to protect yourself while also giving you the opportunity for these people to respect your boundaries. It can create a sense of safety, predictability, promoting trust in these relationships. Open and honest communication is vital. Express everything, concerns assertively and respectfully. There's a learning curve on how to say everything the right way. It can get frustrating sometimes, but when we take those little steps, it helps. So developing self-trust. Follow through on your promises, honor your commitments, be reliable in your actions. And we always hear about that self-care, self-compassion, nurturing a positive relationship with yourself, because we need self-trust. By developing self-trust, you become more open to trusting others. We have to trust ourselves. Sometimes we're too scared. That's why diving off the diving board, do we trust we're going to be okay? Do we trust that we can do this? And we have to evaluate the risk factors too. And if you still struggle, it might be time to get some help with it. There are things like NAMI, one-on-ones with me, information, self-help books, but there's also therapists and psychologists, psychiatrists. We're all different. We're all special. And the goal is to be the best us that we can be. And I believe in you.